Yeah. I don't know what to ask.
What do you want to know?
I don't know.
We shared the cabin with Uncle Chris and Dot. Chris really was building the cabin. They shared expenses, but I think Chris did most of the work. They had 6 kids. We had 6 kids in my family, so there were 12 kids in that one cabin alone. Presumably, we all were supposed to do an hour of work in the morning before we could go play with our friends, picking up or chopping wood or something. And then once we were done with that, we could go off and play. And we built the raft in between our 2 cabins. Up on the top of the hill, which, looking back on it, I'm not quite sure why we did it, but we did. And once the whole frame and the floorboards were on it, well, you remember, it was a pretty big raft. It was like 12 feet wide and, I don't know, 16, 20 feet long. It was a big raft. And so then, to get it down to the lake was a real trick, so we drafted everybody we could find and tilted the thing up on its side and slid it down the hill into the water. Yeah, and I think there were maybe 5 barrels on each side, 50-gallon barrels for the flotation. And when he first built it, for sure we would sometimes put a motor on the back. He had a little section where a motor could go, and I wonder if he didn't even have a steering wheel at one time hooked up to it. So he could, yeah, I think he did have a little podium in the middle of the raft with the pulleys going back to the motor so he could steer it. I remember going out on it with one of its first maiden voyages when they had invited all sorts of people and had dessert on it. I think there were like, oh gosh, 12, 15 adults or so. And it was riding pretty low. And but we just putted along the shoreline, and I had my fishing pole, and it's the biggest walleye I ever caught was in front of beavers. Yeah.
On that raft?
Yeah, you know, probably 4 to 5 pound walleye. And oh yeah, everybody cheered, we kept it. Oh yeah, it was fun.